Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary. Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Normally, I talk about toxic femininity, I talk about interesting court cases, and there are times to where I talk about things that really plague our society. And this is going to be one of those days, or one of those live streams, let me put it like that. Tammy Sytch, a former WWE superstar. She is 50 years old now, and she is no longer that superstar. She fell into alcoholism. Now, when you live the fast life like that in entertainment and you're all over the world, and basically your time is not your own, when you sign on that dotted line, you basically sign much of you away, especially um, in WWE. I remember when it was WWF. So I'm going to have that on a plate. Then on the other side of the world, King Charles. The saga never ends. Family squabbling and jockeying for power. Now, King Charles, it was okay when he was Prince Charles, everything was on Queen Elizabeth. And being a monarch is not easy because you have everything and everyone that is underneath you. Not underneath you, meaning that they are below you, but you have to be able to manage all of your properties, all of the people, especially family. When you have one of your children who go wayward, like Andrew, formerly known as Prince Andrew, oh man. Well, it seems like Prince Andrew strikes again. He managed through not only sibling rivalry, but sibling, oh, pity me. Oh, brother, oh, older brother, I messed up badly. Please take pity on me. Because I'm pretty sure King Charles was going to give Prince Andrew a outhouse and a little shack made by, oh my goodness, I was thinking of one of those Home Depot's little shack that we put together. You're going to put Prince Andrew in that. The shame that he brought on not only the royal family, but also he put a spotlight on England. One of the royals fell far and hard from grace, doing what he did, hanging out with the interesting person Jeffrey Epstein. I gotta be careful. No laughing matter. But back to Tammy. Alcoholism is one of those things, one of those diseases that starts off as a behavior. And normally it starts off as a social thing. You're hanging out with friends, everybody's having a brewski, a wine, whatever it is, and then it becomes social. From the social aspect, then you begin to drink a little more and a little more, a little more. Now, I did an interview about a year ago to where someone that I know that struggled with alcoholism, and she was very candid. So I'm going to cue that in so that you can hear her to lend insight on Tammy Sytch. Now, you're wondering, who's Tammy Sytch? Sunny from WWE. Let me bring her up. And those of you on Instagram, I'm sorry, Twitter, you did her dirty. You did her really dirty. Shame, shame, shame on you. But okay. Here, let me share my screen. Uh, all right, former WWE star Tammy Sytch sentenced more than 17 years in prison for a deadly car crash. Now, this is who she is in the red. Now she's 50, 51, and here the former WWE has been sentenced to 17 years in prison. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, hold on. Wow. Okay. She had, like I said, she has been struggling with alcoholism. I'm not making any excuses at all. No, I'm not. Because her not being able to control it, but I'm leaning and I'm looking at the government, the police, the judges did not put a stop to it, and they could have, but they didn't. All right. Okay, here. Okay, Sytch is 50, and she'll be serving 8 years of probation after her 17 years in prison. Now, I'm not quite sure if this is going to affect her, will it be all 17 years, or would it be um, up to 17 years? Could she get out early for good behavior? I'm not quite sure. But here, the former wrestler pled no contest, which means, oh my goodness, oh, she's not admitting guilt. She's not saying she did it. She's not saying she didn't do it. Just no contest. Oh man. A DUI manslaughter, 4 counts of DUI with damage to person, and 2 counts of DUI damage to property. And wow, ooh, she was arrested in May 2022, just 4 months after she was released from an 8-month stint for a previous DUI. The prosecutors sought for the maximum penalty of 26 years for Sytch, who was called a danger to society for her repeated offenses. 2019, Sytch was charged with her 6th DUI after being arrested, suspicion of drunk driving. She allegedly drove down the wrong way of one street, which was with suspended license, which led her 8 months in prison. Wow, okay. She missed. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Okay, so she had been having some serious struggles, and okay, she's been having a lot of serious struggles with alcoholism, and she had 6. Ooh, okay. She had serious struggles with alcoholism. She had issues, serious issues. Now, what scares me is this: putting her in jail does not solve her alcohol problem. It only lets it lie dormant. And 6 months, 4 months, suspended license, but not putting her in rehab, forcing her to go to rehab. Now, okay, I know forcing someone to make them get help does not always do the trick, but however, someone lost their life, damage to property, I don't know. I truly don't know. But I know it. Mm, horrible. Okay, let me try this. Okay, now let me try it the way it was. Okay. Okay, now here's where you all get terrible. You all are awful, awful, awful. Let me go ahead and go to X. Okay, here. Here is Tammy, known as Sunny, right? But when you go down here, this is awful. Now she's 50. She's not going to look like the way she did back in her 30s, early mid 30s. She's not going to look like this. She's just getting older. She got older. She's what, 51. But now when you do this stuff right here, now that's terrible. That is awful. Looking rough. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Oh Lord. Okay, I don't know what happened here. Oh, that was her mugshot. Okay, aka Sunny has been sentenced to 10.6 years in prison for driving with suspended license, causing a death, and another 7 years for a DUI manslaughter, serving for, wow. And she has 8 years of probation. Hmm. I'm just I don't know, having her bags under her eyes. Poor thing. Oh my goodness. But also my heart goes out to the family too. This right here is really rough. Oh, that is awful. Mm. Okay, you see what this says. Awful. And you know, when you go back to when you're young and you look how you're just not the same. You're not the same person. When you look back when you were young, you get older and you change. But when you have that addiction problem, an alcohol or better yet, a disease, it is awful. It is terrible. But I don't know what made her turn to that. Oh man, you all are awful. Well, she doesn't look like that anymore. Goodness gracious. Oh man, 17 years in jail. Okay. Oh, awful, awful, awful. But just looking at it, what caused her to drink? I don't know. And I don't know what happened in her life that made her take that path. What and you know, some people would say that when it comes to alcoholism, some people would say something occurred in your life, not being able to deal with issues, not not being able to cope with. Oh, I've got to do my runner. Oh, not being able to deal with your issues, a sundry of different things. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that. Um, Now I'm going to show you a little bit of a live stream I did a year ago. A woman by the name of Cheryl had gastro bypass surgery, and with her having that surgery done, going through the psychological part, and the doctors or the therapists would tell you is that Gastro bypass surgery is simply a tool. Now, if you don't maintain it, you could fall into other traps. Food was your addiction, you can get into other things, and that's exactly what she did. She fell into alcohol. But let me bring this up. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right, I think this is it right here.
Is you got to go. It's a process. So
Right.
I'll never forget my when I had a session and stuff. The psychiatrist told me, she was like, "Well, she's like, she said, um, you have a food addiction. One addiction could lead to another. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's like whatever. It's like I don't have no addiction. I never smoked. I never did drugs. No, never did none of that stuff.
True.
Never did any of that stuff. So, it was in the back of my head, but it really wasn't. So, um, after, it was maybe like 2 years after I had the surgery, maybe 2.5 years after I had it. My girlfriend came down, to Baltimore to visit, and we went out, and actually, she had gastric bypass years before me. She had
Okay.
gastric bypass years before me, and you know, um, she ordered a drink, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I was like, "You could drink? You don't get sick?" And she was like, "Oh no, I don't get sick and stuff." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm afraid I might get sick." So, I think it was like the next day or something. We were, sitting around, we were talking, and she had some wine, and I had like a little, like a couple sips of wine.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get sick, you know, I didn't get sick, and maybe had another glass, didn't get sick. I was like, oh, okay, drink, and I don't get sick, you know. And it
Wait a minute,
just
my audio. Go ahead.
um
Mm-hmm.
progressed
Mm-hmm.
slowly. It just progressed slowly. It was
And that's how it starts off. It progresses slowly. Just as she said, couple of sips to a glass of wine, and then it progressed. But it started off with gastro bypass. Now, Tammy, Tammy Sytch, don't know how her alcoholism started. Don't know. But being in the entertainment industry can most definitely cause issues. High stress, bumps and bruises, being slammed all over the place, going from one part of the country to the other part of the country. Your time is not yours. You're in such high demand. People want to see you. You go to signings. That is intoxicating. Being in, I don't know how many of you have gone to a wrestling match, because I have. Um, I remember seeing the British Bulldogs. I remember seeing Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker. Took my husband and I took our children, and all the screaming, the energy is like, whew, it is really something. Now I could not imagine being in that rink and having all that energy. You have a lot of people screaming all over the place, whether if they're screaming for you or against you and saying some of the most horrendous, hurtful things. But you're playing a role, you're playing a part. it can get to be too much. You got to cope somehow, and then having your coworkers, people that you work with, do you really get along with them? I mean, it's I couldn't imagine the amount of stress, but it went from one DUI to another DUI to another, going to jail, not once, not twice. She went to jail, what, 3 times? And now she really messed up badly. But let me go back to my video because she gets into it. At some point, there was an intervention. It looks like that Tammy Sytch didn't have an intervention at all. Just like no one stopped Prince Andrew. Man, oh man, oh man. But hold on. Okay.
Was, drinking, maybe
Okay, let me go ahead. Okay, well, the drinking started.
either me or that, you know. And I told him to his face, I was like, "Oh, I pick you." And then he turned around and stuff and, walk upstairs and I grab myself another drink, you know.
I am so
Yeah.
sorry. Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm so sorry.
No, don't. Hey, you know what, Laura? Let me tell you. As much as those years were like my darkest years, darkest, I could honestly say right now and stuff, I'm glad that well, I didn't want to say it glad that it happened, but
Yeah.
that I experienced it because I'm not the person I am today. And I know that's a cliche, it's like,
Mhm.
well, if it never happened, I'm not the person. But um, I learned a lot. I appreciated what I have now,
Uh huh.
you know, because, and I, I went to rehab 3 times. I went to rehab three
Mm.
times. Um, First rehab I went to this rehab in Jersey. I went there for I went there for 30 days. I
Uh
went
huh.
there for 30 days. That was the longest 30 days of my life. Went there, came home, thought I was good and stuff. And I struggled. I struggled so, oh my God, I struggled so hard after I came out of rehab that time.
Mhm.
My one of my best friends, she was ill. She had breast cancer, and well, evidently, the breast cancer won, and she passed away. The day she passed away, I picked the bottle back up. I picked the bottle back up. I was never good with dealing with death,
Mhm.
never have, so I picked the bottle up, and, started spiraling down again. Um, it got to the point where, I mean, I was messing up my job like big time. So make a long story short, went to rehab again. This time I was in Florida, West Palm Beach. Went to this glamorous rehab, lived in a mini mansion, they were wonderful and stuff. Went there for 90 days. Um, Left there, they dropped me off at the airport. Guess what I did at the airport? I found me a
Oh no.
bar.
Wow.
I found me a bar. Yes, I did. I found me a bar. Yep. Yep. Had
But
me a couple drinks and yep. My husband picked me up and stuff and smelled liquor on my breath
mm,
and he just shook his head, and At this point and stuff, I mean, he was just like, I can't do it no more, you know. And I didn't blame him. I was home for like 2 weeks, and I went back.
Mm.
I went back,
But
and I
but
stayed in rehab.
but what made you go back? You just left the rehab. You had all those tools to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cause I didn't want to put the I didn't want to put the work in. It was easy for
okay.
me to just go back to rehab, you know, and just not deal with anything,
Hmm.
just not deal with anything, you know. I just, you know, I just didn't want to put the work in.
Okay.
And then when I make a long story short and stuff, he, you know, after I came back from rehab and stuff, well, yeah, our relationship was shot to hell. Um, Packed me up, moved up to Pennsylvania, and you know, I was still drinking and stuff. You know, um, the only people that really stood by me was, you know, Jasmine and and my sister. You know, really, I was working and stuff, and then almost 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I went to the ER because I was drinking and I just wanted to give up, you know. And my daughter came and stuff, and she was like, um, I love you and stuff like that, but I'm not going to give you one of my livers or whatever my organs if something
That
happens
sound
to
like
you.
Jasmine. That's woo. Mm.
And
Cheryl.
my sister said, yes,
Okay. I'm sorry. I moved and I gotta
and
check in my
oh,
wires. Go ahead.
oh, okay. And then my sister said, asked the doctor, said, can you put her on naltrexone and stuff? Now naltrexone is a medication for people that have opioid addiction.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's for people that have opioid addiction. And um, um, they told me about it and stuff, and they said, why don't you try it and stuff? So, that night when I left the ER and stuff, Laura, I lie to you not. I came home and stuff. I took a shower. I came upstairs, and I laid down and I just looked at the ceiling, you know, and all I remember, I said, I'm tired. I'm ready. That's all I said. I'm tired. I'm ready. That's it. Those 4 words. Now, when I said that and stuff, I figured one or two things are going to happen. I'm tired. I'm ready to fight and to fight this addiction,
Hmm.
or I'm tired and I'm ready to die from my addiction. And that next morning would determine what was going to happen. And I woke up that next morning and I lied to you not. I had no desire whatsoever to drink. And I don't care if people say, well, you know, you made up your mind or something like that. I think it was divine intervention. It was
Mm-hmm.
God. It was, he was like, okay, you fought and you fought to be here. So, you know, and I haven't touched a drink since. I haven't touched a drink since. Don't want, and you know what? And I can tell you, it's like my nephew. He drank. He got Hennessy in the refrigerator.
Now, whew, that was a hard one when I did this last year with my friend. And I've seen her over the last year, and she doesn't pick up a drink. But she was able to have that moment of, I'm going to fight. Tammy Sytch, no. It's Addictions like that are horrible because they completely destroy your life inside and out. Now, Tammy Sytch is going to be in jail for 17 years for something that she can never take back. She can never undo that. Never. If Tammy had a sister like my friend, to where she's a nurse, here, give this to my sister. But let's see what happens. Let's hopefully, and like some people who go to jail under these pretenses of their life is spinning out of control. Sometimes some people say jail was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's a terrible thing to say. It is, or to even repeat. But for some people, they need to be in a place to where they can't go anywhere. They got to stay there. They're told what to do, when to do it. Yeah. Now, people were roasting her on X, which, social media, it's not always the kindest thing. Not always kind. People's tragedies, people do wild stuff. And you saw how they compared her. Ugh. Now, King Charles. Oh man, King Charles. King Charles. Okay. This sibling, I can't even call it sibling rivalry, but Prince Harry, whether if you love him or hate him, I happen to like Prince Harry. I do. He is the outsider. He's the insider outsider. I like Prince Harry. I always have. Especially when he was with his mom, Princess Diana, and just watching them. Prince William seemed a little bit standoffish, and he was always making jabs at Harry. Just go through the interviews throughout the years, you will always see Prince William jabbing at Harry every chance he got. Now, you would think it would end there. No. Now, Andrew, formerly known as Prince Andrew, and I'm going to bring up the article so you can take a look at it. Let me. Okay, let me bring it up. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, here. King Charles. Okay. All right. Oh, come on. All right. Prince Andrew being offered the Frogmore cottage. Come on. And they're getting Meghan and Harry are getting evicted. And it's kind of sad because here Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were taken aback when King Charles III offered Prince Andrew Frogmore cottage shortly after they were evicted from the residence. Oh man, they just again, they don't leave them alone. And maybe I may be a little biased. I don't know what goes on. I don't hang out with them. I would be cool. Hey, look, I would be cool. I'll go over there. Spend some time with all of you. I mean, I just didn't get my invite. I'm still waiting on my invite in a mailbox. I'm pretty sure I'll get it. It was an oversight. But but you know, all of the things that Prince Andrew did, the shame, oh, the shame he brought on the family. But according to the royal experts, Omid Scobie upcoming book, Endgame, the monarch gesture towards his younger brother was a final blowback for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Now, I'm not sure whether this had anything to do with the book Despair, and you know, for me, I think he had every right to write that book to tell off. And some people say, well, he should have never done that. But does he have to suffer in silence? Does he have to be mistreated? Does Meghan have to be mistreated in that manner? And they have no recourse? Now if they were to lose it and just start giving, you know, for equal rights, giving equal lefts, then it would be a problem. Then it would be like, oh, they're horrible. Look at what they did. But not looking at what made them get to that point. So him writing that book gave him an outlet of, okay, I'm taking all this abuse, all of this disrespect, treating my wife any old kind of way. I mean, he went to his father saying, hey, Dad, look, my wife is really going through something. Could you please help us? Help me, help my wife. Help me, help my family. King Charles said, get over it. Well, no, those are my words. He just said, just carry on. Now, with that attitude, thinking back with Lady Diana and the horrible problems that she had in the royal family, because they weren't the nicest to her. They were awful to her. And you know, some people are saying, well, because Meghan's black, this, that. Nah, no. You just have awful in-laws. I had some awful in-laws, and now that I'm divorced, they're still awful. And some of the family members I claim as my family, others, that's my ex-husband's blah, blah, blah. Ugh. So I could imagine Princess Diana grew up being a royal. Princess Meghan didn't. So she has a lot to catch up with and dealing with the family and their attitudes, good or bad. But King Charles did not protect Diana, Princess Diana. Well, I call her lovingly Queen Diana. No shade on Queen Consort Camilla, but I don't know. I'm still a little mad at her because she should have never been with. Okay, let me leave that alone. But said, okay, look, son, I love you, but you and your wife got to get out because my brother needs this place, and this cottage is huge. I'm just like, that's a my thought of a cottage is something real small, but okay. Oh no. They look so good together. Now look at this. This is a cottage. Now I'm thinking of something small, a tiny, like one part over here, not the whole thing. That right there is a mansion. Oh, look how big that is huge. But Prince Andrew, 63, stepped down as a working royal amid his disastrous 2019 BBC interview, justifying his friendship with the pedophile, you see what that is, Jeff, who died by suicide in a jail cell. Really? Really? I'm leaving that right there. Okay. His Royal Highness title, so he got stripped of everything. But he didn't get stripped of that Frogmore cottage. The Queen's approval and agreement, the Duke of York's military affiliation, royal patronage, it has been returned to the Queen. Wow, I mean, just a lot. But the horrible shame Prince Andrew or Andrew brought on a family is irreparable. I mean, that's going to go down in history as, I don't know, it's going to go down in history as something horrible, something terrible. But to kick them out, King Charles, put your brother in a little shack from Home Depot, have somebody put it together, give him maybe an 18 by 18 place size, give him a little outhouse, and let him live there. I mean, that right there is just what King Charles, if I had your ear, I would, say, hey, put him there. Just a thought. Just a thought. King Charles, just a thought. And leave Harry and Meghan right there with their children. No. But there they go. They're such I love them. I do. I love them. I do. But the Duke of York will continue not to undertake any public duties, and he's going back as a private citizen. So brother, please, okay, please, no. You get that 18 by 18 Home Depot built garage, whatever you call it, put you in it. That's just my thought. Oh, here. Oh, my goodness. So, here, Harry and the former actress stayed at Frogmore cottage with their son Archie until they move across the pond to Montecito, California. So they're back in California, and I just think that could have been handled completely differently. And it's only going to cause, in my opinion, more issues because Harry has been pushed aside for a very long time. He has been pushed aside for a very long time. He has been set aside, and as he said, that he's despair. And if you are one of those children that is not the favorite child, that doesn't get all the attention or even a minuscule of attention, sometimes you act out. And Harry did. He acted out. But to kick him out, man, King Charles. Oh my goodness. Okay. I know that Prince William is going to be king. He's going to be king when it's your time to go gentle into that good night. I don't know. What do you think? Oh, man. So here, Scobie's book, Harry repeatedly called his father to discuss the decision and asked if he ever wanted to see his grandchildren. King Charles, not directly answering the question, immediately alleged, saying that Harry and his family would have somewhere to stay. when they visit. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. King Charles. That is an excellent way of saying you're not wanted. Harry and his uncle have also made headlines in different guidelines. They have been uh, given about wearing their military medals. Harry also served as an army in the army for 10 years and did 2 tours in Afghanistan and was not allowed to wear his uniform to the Queen's funeral. After the backlash, he donated the entire Queen's um, budget alongside of his brother Prince William's. I mean, I thought the way they treated him was just terrible, just terrible. And it only those of us who come from dysfunctional families like that. Um, there's always the one that is pushed aside, and that's Prince Harry. And now you have Meghan. She's also pushed aside in her family, and her sister has done some terrible things to her. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Look, some of us, we have to build our family, and that is outside of our brother, sister, parents, cousins. Sometimes you can have your best friends to become your family. Oh, that's my sister, my play sister, my cousin, my play, however, some of us have to do that. We have to reach out and bring people into our fold and to have our own family. There's nothing wrong with that because sometimes people say blood is thicker than water. Well, as you can see with Harry, water is thicker than blood. So, look, Harry, you could come on over here. Come on over here. We love you. We want you. Come on over to the US. We love you and want you. But I like them. I like Meghan and I like Harry. I really do. I really do. But let me see. Is anything else I wanted to present? This. Oh man, this is a funny. Look, brace yourself. Brace yourself. Okay, you gotta brace yourself for this one. Okay. Oh man, let me.
What brilliant! What a brilliant idea! What do you mean just stop oil? All your stuff is made out of oil, you idiot! Your clothes, these jackets, they're all made out of oil! What the hell are you doing here making a nuisance of yourselves? It's a joke! What a joke! What are you doing here? Get out the road! You're wasting everybody's time and petrol! All these guys, their engines are running all the time, wasting more bloody oil, you nutters! What is this made out of? What are your clothes made out of? How did your clothes get here? They got here by oil. What are you doing? This makes no sense at all. Just stop oil. You haven't thought about this. If you want to stop oil, you need to stay at home and go and live in the forest. What brilliant. What a brilliant.
He made so much sense. Oh my goodness. Sometimes people get out and protest. Oh goodness, I did not mean to do that. Sometimes people go out and protest and they just do not really think their protest all the way through. They just say, hey, I got this. That's idea. I want to protest and that's what I want to do. I want to do that. Yeah. Well, you're protesting oil and everything that you have is made of oil. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, on that note, alcoholism is a terrible, terrible disease, and it starts off as a behavior. You go out Friday, Saturday, hang out with friends, and then it turns into something more. Yeah, it does. Well, I want to thank you because you could be anywhere, and you are. You could be doing anything, which you are, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that, and I hope your time wasn't wasted. So please like, subscribe, and I'm also on Instagram, Big Girl Diary 1, and also on Twitter, Big Girl Diary 1. Come check me out. And I want to thank you for stopping by.